here's the problem. Biddy has unfortunately got a good chance this time. I mean, if you keep saying as often as she does that this council's corrupt, we give no evidence because there isn't any.
What about Daryl?
What about Daryl?
Well, isn't he good?
Look, here's how we went, all right? We've got 4. Harry, Irene, Fred, well done. And me.
Tom Schumacher, Biddy Marchant. Allow me to be the first to congratulate you. She didn't waste any time. She wanted to talk to me about voting for her as mayor.
Now, what you're doing is called corruption.
Yeah, but you're looking after me, aren't you, George?
I do what I can.
Don't worry about bloody Cole, mate. You might not be the mayor come next week.
There's one more thing, by the way. Now, Daryl said something about people might have stopped talking about it, but Daryl hasn't forgotten.
Well, but isn't the great Pooh Bar himself come to visit the common people?
Yeah, shut up, Daryl. It's about time we had a talk. I've heard some shocking things about you, Daryl.
You had your Teflon shower this morning, have you?
Call the police.
All over non-stick spray.
They're going to come in here.
So when you poop
right,
on
they're going
people
to
from a
examine
great
your
height
contracts,
and nothing
right?
sticks
They
to you.
pay attention, Daryl. And if they find, as I'm told they will,
Up there in your poo
evidence of
bar,
corrupt practices,
hey, sack all them workers,
backhanders,
sack all them
shady
other
deals,
workers. Too bad about their poor bloody
and
families.
payoffs, Daryl, and payoffs. And if you're found guilty of any of this, you'll be sacked, you'll be charged, and you go to jail.
Oh yeah, and nothing happens to you, does it? No, you're all right. You're number one. You're Mr. Squeaky Clean Bloody Pooh Bar Man.
Hey, on the other hand, Daryl, we could save ourselves a lot of trouble. You could resign today. You could walk out of here this afternoon and never come back.
On the other hand, I can start telling a few people a few things I know about you.
No one's going to be interested in what you've got to say about me.
Well, you don't reckon anyone's going to be interested in a big sex scandal?
Too long ago.
Oh, you reckon, do you?
Just a sec, Daryl. George. Oh.
Lunch for 2.
You don't reckon anyone's going to be interested in the headline? Great Pooh Bar in child sex scandal.
Oh, I don't think you're going to the papers with this,
I don't
Daryl.
have to. I've got a better idea. I'll just go to that new counsellor and I'll say to her, what do you reckon about a bloke who gets a girl pregnant? She's 14 years old. She has to get rid of it. I was wondering, I mean, is that the sort of person that you want to vote for?
What about Sandra? Huh?
A bit late for you to be worrying about Sandra.
Don't think you want to drag her into this.
Yeah, well, that's up to you.
You're muckraking, Daryl. You're muckraking. When I tell my side of the story, people will understand.
Yeah,
They will understand.
And what will you say to the charge, oh great Pooh Bar, that you had sex with an underage 14-year-old girl and you got her pregnant?
I will say, Daryl, that at the time, Daryl, I was 13.
Old enough to get her pregnant.
I was 13.
Old enough to know better, mate.
Hey, I was a boy. I was just a boy.
Do the decent thing by her and marry her.
Well, unfortunately, the mayor is still in conference at the moment. He's very busy today.
He was busy last week too, and the week before.
Well, with the election.
I haven't slept for months. The dog barks all night and nobody's done anything about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that must be dreadful.
You've held on to this grudge for far too long, mate.
Don't you call me mate. Every time I look at Sandra, I think about what you've done to her.
Yeah, but realistically, one said it happened, which I'm not proud of. Not proud of. But what else could I have
You
done?
could have married her.
You know why I couldn't?
Yeah, not good enough.
No, apart from the fact that we were too young.
Yeah, well, my mum and dad, they got married young and never heard them.
No, as well as that, you know, as well as I...
You already had plans to be that great pooh-bah, and you didn't want one of the common folk being lazy pooh-bah.
You know
None of
that
my
your
family
sister...
is good enough for
your
you.
sister...
Don't you say it!
She's not right in the head.
She was all right before you got out.
No, she was born that way.
Get out!
She was a bit slow, but she loves sex.
Get out!
No, I'm not right.
Get off me, Daryl! Get off! You're a bloody liar! What a bloody waste! 8-year-old single malt scotch, eh? There. Neither of us want any of this to get out, all right? What are you saying? Why don't we just come to some sort of arrangement? I'm listening.
Yeah, look, I've just got to go and see Greg and running through the paperwork on this. In the meantime, Daryl's still in communicator. Can you take care of that for me, George?
Done.
Thanks, George.
Networking. You can't outsource management. Management's a core activity, and you can't outsource a core activity.
I see, and who gets to decide what's a core activity?
Karen, you waiting for me?
Due to see George, I think.
Right, well, that corrupt individual I mentioned, he's out, or he's gone. I'll just have to explain it all to Greg. Greg, come on, I'll fill you in. But I still would like to talk to you today if I can.
Okay. Mr. Hasnikoff.
Ah, Miss Schumacher. Stephen, as an architect, you realise that now you're a councillor. If you should wish to lodge any building or development applications before this council, that you'll be required to disclose your conflict of interest, and that I'll be restrained from discussing any of the details of the assessment process with you.
Yes, I did know that.
I like to keep everything above board. Stephen will look after you.
Oh, Cole, Mr. Peterson's here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Peterson had an appointment, did you?
Yeah, for today.
Very sorry, something very urgent has come up. Just speak to Janice, make another appointment. Very sorry.
And a couple of messages, only one from TAFE. Does it have to be the mayor, Mr. Peterson? Perhaps someone else can help you.
I got a letter from him 2 weeks ago saying I could come and see him any time. He said he was the most approachable mayor in the country.
Oh, unfortunately, Mr. Peterson, things just never seem to go as smoothly as they should.
Some people would like us to get rid of childcare. Everyone denies this is happening, but we've just had to do a complete inventory of all our buildings and equipment, and there's only one reason to do that, and that's to put a price on it. Aren't you just being a wee bit suspicious?
Hang on.
I'm sorry, I'm new here. I'm just asking the question.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a really upset parent on the phone and she won't take no for an answer.
Somebody told a meeting of parents that childcare fees were going to rise. They're not, but I've had a flood of angry parents on the phone this morning. Tell her I'll call her back in half an hour. Sorry, I know your time's limited, so let's move on to libraries. Now, you look like a woman who needs someone to take you to lunch. At the moment, I feel like that sort of woman.
Well, it's a very big payout.
Can't you recalculate his super or holiday pay or something? Can't he have done a lot of overtime? Can't get into a car with Biddy. How'd you let that happen, Greg?
Well, I'm very busy, Cole.
You not to let her leave the building without seeing me. You also told me you wanted to speak to me about Darryl. Yeah, well, didn't your MBA teach you to delegate? Janice, give me the deputy mayor as a matter of extreme urgency. All right, Greg, I've given you the figure. Get on to Andrew Abbott's, make it work.
Yeah, all right, Cole, look, I agree it has to be done, okay, but what you're asking me to do is slippery, if not a miracle.
No, nothing too slippery, Greg. A miracle will be fine.
Oh, all right, Cole, leave it with me.
Deputy Mayor?
Harry, disaster. Right, that's Darryl. You also realise how important it is to get Karen on side.
Oh, comrade.
Now, if Biddy doesn't deal with it and gives her something she wants...
You wouldn't give her
have
that?
to think of something better.
If you give her the deputy mayor...
Harry, you've had a heart attack, mate. We've got to think of something, all right? All I'm saying is you might need to be a bit flexible.
Oh, not this. I always worry when you... I hate this flexible bizarre.
Mate, if Biddy is mayor, she might start to ask questions about that air conditioning you had put in at your place. Whether you ever sent a bill.
Did Darryl? Oh, mate, oh, comrade, I can see where this is going and I don't...
Look, come on, let's not get carried away, okay? We're not talking about facing earthquakes or war or bubonic plague or anything. All we're talking about is Biddy being elected mayor.
I'd rather take the plague.
Yeah, it's worse than all those, isn't it? Cole's worried.
He's got good reason to be. I think Karen might well vote for Biddy.
Can't we protest or demonstrate or something?
No,
Well, there must be something that we can do.
Yeah, all I'm going to do is go home and take out my Biddy Marchant voodoo doll and stick pins in it. I wonder where you get a voodoo doll, actually.
I don't know. I've got one son, Ned. He's 17. I'm not sure. He seems to spend a lot of time conserving his energies, but I don't think he knows what for just yet. What about you?
And what about me?
Children?
Oh, actually, yes. My husband, he has two. They live with their mother. I love them.
And none of your own?
No, I think I'm too busy to have kids. I mean, if I'd had them years ago, they'd be there, wouldn't they? But I don't think it'd be right to have kids now. Not with the role I want to play in public life. So you're going to vote me as mayor?
I thought we agreed.
I'm changing the rules.
That was my condition for having lunch with you.
Come on, Karen, you very cleverly kept me at bay ever since this election. But you're a councillor now, you have a duty, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you get away.
This really isn't fair,
But
Biddy.
it's about time we blew up the boys' club and had a woman as mayor.
As I said, I want to raise the standards of building and development. I think this area...
I hope you're as much a feminist as
I think this area could be very beautiful, and I don't see that reflected in the buildings we approve, or in the streets, or in the public spaces.
The only hope of that is by kicking out Cole Dunkley. He's a Philistine. He's in his house. You're an architect, it'll give you a migraine just looking at it. But more importantly, he says he's an independent, that he does all the bidding of the Labor Party. But everything around here is a payoff to some left-wing Labor crony, and I'm not talking about money changing hands, I'm talking about serious corruption, and I've been on the verge of going to the police on many occasions.
Why don't you?
Because that's the kind of tough bully games that boys would play. I want to show them a woman would do things differently. Come on, Karen. We've got the looks, we've got the brains, we can take this down.
You know, I think a change in leadership might not be a bad thing. I mean, I like Cole. It's hard not to. But I'm not sure he's up to the job. Are you? You know, it's the legal details. Cole doesn't pay any attention to them. For example, I got Andrew to put in a clause that will prevent Darryl from ever throwing mud at anyone in council ever again. It's a very good clause.
How will it prevent him?
We'll sue him if he does.
If we get to the stage of suing him, doesn't that mean he's already thrown the mud?
But he won't.
Why not?
We'll sue him if he does.
Yeah, but we don't get to sue him until after. No.
It's a very strong clause.
Darryl never said anything about you, by the way.
No, well, what would he say? I knew Cole was just bluffing.
Well, let me clarify that. He didn't say anything to me. I've no idea what he said to Cole.
Might get Andrew to have another look at that clause.
Who's Darryl?
Manager building contracts.
Not someone you'd invite to dinner, but very useful.
You can't stand Cole Dunkley. Why?
All morning I seem to keep running across these intense discussions. The mayor, George, Greg all seem to be tied up in them.
The bus shelter. It's driving Cole crazy that he can't just issue an order and get it finished. People ring and complain every day. I make sure they do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't enjoy doing these things, but this is politics and all's fair and whatever it takes to get rid of Cole Dunkley. Thank you.
How much is my share?
My treat?
No, I'll pay for mine.
I said I was taking you to lunch. We agreed.
And I'm changing the rules.
Let's not argue, Karen. This is my way of saying welcome and thank you.
Well, I wouldn't want anyone to think you were trying to buy my vote, Biddy.
Who's going to think that?
I would, so if you don't mind, I'll pay half.
Congratulations. You passed with flying colours.
Looking forward to Monday night. Possibly a new mayor.
Possibly not.
With all this Darryl and corruption stuff behind us, we might find